Alright, Schlockmeister fans, we're going to watch something with Elke Sommer, an older film, almost 60 years old. It's called Sweet Ecstasy. Let's check it out. Our movie starts in the theater. I believe this woman's name is Claire, and she's about to meet her brother who's stopped by, Olivier. And here they are, brother and sister.
Instead of being grateful, you
Here we are, ready or not. Now tell us about your flick.
It's an absolute love. It truly is a love.
Here, please. Thank you.
Anyway, Olivier wanders off and meets this girl named Barbara.
I believe the silence of that forest has been broken.
Excuse me. Olivier.
Barbara.
Well, Barbara takes him to this club,
Hello.
and they meet some other people she knows, including Elke Sommer.
Sit down there.
Elke Sommer plays Elke.
Barbara. I'll take you back.
I know the way.
Well, Olivier was kind of smitten with Elke, and he decides to run off with all of them, leaving Barbara in the lurch. Well, the leader of this group is this guy named Matty Mater. And here he is frolicking around with Elke. Lucky guy. Ends up with presumably a romp on the beach, although we don't see anything. It is a 1962 movie after all.
Pretty good looking kid.
We're talking about Olivier.
Olivier, would you care?
No.
I wonder if we can still save him. I think you ought to have an affair. Want the assignment?
And why not?
So they all are partying on a boat where Elke does her sexy dance. And since Maddie gave her permission to have an affair, here she is with Olivier.
Maddie's the one you want. I don't mean a thing to you, and you know it.
Beautiful boy.
After making out with her, he rejects her.
I've always felt love should endure.
Don't you like me?
Yes. But forgive me. It's not easy to explain.
So after being rejected, this girl Shoot then goes after Olivier.
But this is wrong. That boy loves you. Aren't you ashamed?
Oh, Charlie's too young. He's an idiot. He bores me to death. I don't have time to waste on him. He's a sentimental ninny.
Well, the aforementioned Charlie overhears that, of course, got upset, and accidentally starts a fire. So they're playing some kind of game in here where they're going to auction off Elke, so she's tied up. Of course, soon after, the whole boat is inflamed. Everybody panics and runs, and nobody remembered to untie Elke. So they put the lifeboats in the water, and finally Olivier remembers that Elke's inside and takes it upon himself to go rescue her since nobody else will. Eventually, Maddie shows up to help at the last second. and they get her off. But Elke barely acknowledges that she got saved by Olivier. Doesn't seem grateful at all.
Come on.
Now they're all mad at Charlie for starting the fire.
Don't you agree?
No. You can't blame someone if it's an accident.
That's about enough out of you.
Well, thanks.
Well, what did you think? That I'd call you my hero and remain forever grateful? Gratitude. I love it.
Olivier is going to get a phone call. They got something planned for Charlie.
Yes. Hello?
Hello, Olivier. If you'll drop around the arena tonight, you'll have some very interesting entertainment.
Is he to blame? Or not to blame?
Charlie.
He's to blame.
To blame. To blame.
To blame.
Guilty.
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 They plan to whip him, strip him, spit all over him, but then they hear some sirens. Olivier was going to try to stop it from happening, but instead he gets clipped by the car. Elke's moved on to somebody else.
She seems to be tired of you. We all are. Go play outside with Charlie. He's more your age. You listen.
Anyway, Maddie and Olivier face off. They're blindfolded, being lifted by cranes. They have to jump to the structure.
No. No. Olivier, don't.
If they time it right, they'll live. Although we don't see it. Apparently Maddie does give him a hand to help him up. So apparently that was enough to convince him that all those guys are assholes. So Olivier goes back to Barbara, the pure, sweet, innocent girl that he met earlier. And our last scene is the two of them getting married. But very strangely, we cut over to, I guess, a double wedding of Maddie and Elke. All right, let's talk about Sweet Ecstasy. I'm not exactly sure how I obtained this movie originally. I had on a VHS tape. I don't know if it was a bootleg tape or I don't think it was a pre-record. I'm not sure. But anyway, I got the movie maybe 20 years ago. And I think I watched it once, although I'm not 100% positive on that either. But I did watch it today. It's a black and white film, 1962, I think it was. And it stars Elke Sommer, who was kind of a, I want to say a British bombshell from back in the day, but I don't know if she was British. But anyway, I don't want to say it's like a film noir, although it does have that look. But I'm trying to figure out exactly what this film was trying to do. We have this guy named Olivier who meets this woman named Barbara when Barbara is in this theater group or something with Olivier's sister. And the two of them hit it off, and then they drive to some other place, some club or something. They meet a whole bunch of other friends, I guess, of Barbara's or acquaintances, I don't know. And one of those is Elke Sommer, who plays Elke. And she hangs out with this other group of people. They're all kind of like nasty, maybe early 20-somethings. They're just kids with money, and they're just all brats, and they're just rude and obnoxious, and they're just uncomfortable to be around, if you ask me. Olivier is not like that, but he's smitten with Elke Sommer, which I could totally understand. Elke is having sleeps with this guy named Maddie Mater or something like that. I'm not sure. And then he suggests, why don't you have an affair with Olivier? So she's like, okay. And then they're on this boat, and they almost do it, but then he decides that he doesn't want to do that unless there's love involved, and she gets a little frustrated and mad at him. Then there's this other guy, or this other girl named Shoot, who goes up and kisses Olivier, and then Shoot's boyfriend, or at least the guy who really likes her, gets jealous and storms off, and he accidentally starts a fire on the boat, which engulfs the whole boat in flames. Everybody escapes, and then they realize Elke is trapped back on the boat. So Olivier jumps off to go rescue her. Nobody else did. But the next day, she's not very thankful about it. She's still a bitch, really, towards him. And then they decide they're going to pick on Charlie because he's the one who started the fire on the boat, even though it was an accident. And then ultimately there's a showdown between Mater and Olivier. They decide to have this weird contest where they are blindfolded and they get lifted up on some cranes, and they have to blindly jump from the crane or where they're standing to an open window on the structure that's being built. That's 5 stories up. So obviously if they miss, they're going to die. And Mater jumps and he's okay. And then Olivier jumps and he almost misses, but he does manage to just barely grip onto it. And apparently he got a help up later on from Mater, which we find out later on. But then he realizes apparently that this group is a bunch of nowhere people. He doesn't want to be with them. So he goes back to Barbara. The last scene is in the movie is them getting married. I don't know, just kind of a strange ending. Plus it was a double marriage because it looked like Mater and Elke were getting married too. I don't know. I don't quite get this film. I don't really have a desire to ever watch it again. Elke Sommer does look really good, and if you look really hard, you actually do see one of her nipples in this movie. I read a review about this movie that said there's this one scene on the boat where it's amazing that her nipples didn't get shown, but they do. There's at least one of them there. I saw it. So anyway, that's it. I don't know what to make of this film. I think it was trying to say something, but I'm not exactly sure what. It was okay. And it was a fast 79, almost 80 minutes. Yeah, there you go. Sweet Ecstasy. Let me know what you think about it. If you've seen this thing, I bet you hardly anybody has, but check it out. I'll leave a link to Amazon if it's available on Amazon, and let me know what you think about it. Leave some comments. Watch it. Bye. Sweet Ecstasy.